Welcome back. You were introduced to the Agile Platform's fundamental components and their role in the life cycle of a web application. You also had the chance to build your very first web application using the OutSystems platform. In this lesson, we'll cover the core concepts that will help you understand the two basic types of requests, the ones that display data and the ones that submit data. Let's start with the request to display data. When the browser makes a web request to the My Contacts application, the platform server will redirect it to the application's entry point, the contact list screen, and this screen will display the list of contacts. But where did those contacts came from? They came from the database. Okay, so far so good. Let's recap. The browser makes a web request to your web application. The application server transfers your request to the application's entry point, the contact list screen. The existing contacts are retrieved from the database, and the screen that displays the contacts is returned back to the web browser. And how do you do this in Service Studio? You design the layout of your screen using the screen editor. To get the contacts from the database, you use the screen preparation. The screen preparation is a piece of logic that runs before the screen is actually drawn by the browser. It is here in the screen preparation that you will use a query that will get the data from the database. Finally, you need to tell the screen to use the query's output as its data source. Quite simple. Let's just review the runtime sequence one more time. When you type the address of your application in your web browser, a request is made to the web application server. The entry point in your web application determines that it should display the contact list screen. So, a request is made for the contact list screen. The screen preparation is always the first thing to run. The query is performed, and its output is used as the screen's data source. Finally, the screen is drawn and sent back to the browser. What about web requests to submit data? Requests to submit data are a bit different. You design the layout of your screen using the screen editor, usually with some kind of form with inputs for the end user to type data and a button that submits the form. A request to this screen won't even need a screen preparation. It will simply render the empty form and send it back to the browser. But how do you model the behavior of the Save button? You model it using a screen action. The screen action is a piece of logic that runs on a specific event on the screen, usually the click of a button. In this action, you can access the form's data and use it, for example, to update the database. Let's just review the runtime sequence. A request is made to a screen that displays an empty form. The end user types in the data and clicks on the Save button. The screen action for the Save button is triggered, and the database is updated using the form's data. What have you learned? You probably noticed that we suppressed a lot of detail from these explanations. Don't worry about that, you'll dive into details soon enough. For now, these are the concepts we want you to always keep present in your mind. Seriously, pay attention. Your screen can have a screen preparation, a piece of logic that runs before the screen is rendered and that you can use to get data to be displayed on your screen. And screen actions, pieces of logic that run on specific events on the screen, such as the click of a button, and that you can use, for example, to process the form's data. Take a second to help us improve by rating this webinar. And move forward to the next lesson. Please send us your questions or feedback to training@outsystems.com. Thank you for watching.